Hope this is working. Hey, it's me again. I know it's been a minute, but we're gonna be doing something different in that I'm downloading Sims 4 custom content. You can't see it. You'll be getting a black screen. I apologize. All you'll get is this VC YouTuber thing. Here, to make it easier, so it's not just a black screen. There we go. I played with that a little bit. We're good to go. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple things. My last few videos were pre-recorded, so I haven't filmed in 2 days. And apparently that's a mistake considering apparently people can't stop doing drama on the internet. That's fine, whatever. There's a couple things. This is gonna be like a mini tea type thing, a mini opinions video. It's nothing big. I want to talk about Jake Paul. I wanted to talk about I'm going to touch on Gabby Hanna just a tiny little bit. And then I wanted to discuss, who else was it? Jake Paul, Gabby Hanna, Ryland Adams. I wanted to talk about Ryland Adams for a minute. And so that might lead into Trisha Paytas for a little bit, but I'm not talking about her. She hasn't done anything wrong that I know of. Choose game. Sims 4. Awesome. Show all. I'm getting more Sims 4. I'm on the Sims resource. Just because of the ads and stuff like that. I don't have ads turned off, and I don't feel like dealing with that at the moment, so I apologize if it's annoying and you guys don't want to see it, but I can't really do much about it. So, okay. So the big thing that's going on, we're going to start with, I guess we're going to start with the easy one. Jake Paul. Jake Paul was with Triller, whatever it's called. It's like a janky version of TikTok that he has stocks in, I guess, or is a part of. They were suing H3. I don't think that's going anywhere. Yada yada yada. Not really important. Apparently something to do with his fights. They were streaming it, but it's protected under copyright law. When you are a commentary channel, and you show things like receipts, which could include, a video, TikToks, such as TikToks, or a clip from a YouTube video, like a little 20-second clip, and then you have to add commentary at it. You can't just show it and then just upload it. You have to add you need to add something to it, whether it's commentary, your opinion. You need to just add something. You can't just upload it. Well, apparently during the fight, that you had to pay for it apparently, and then basically what they did on, I think it was the H3 podcast. I don't think it was on the Frenemies podcast. I'm pretty sure it was H3 with Ethan and his wife. They watched the fight and then they commentated on it. Perfectly fine. Anyway, what happened was Jake Paul got upset, or at least Triller did or whatever. They sued him. I don't think that's going anywhere because of copyright, because once again, they are protected under fair use law, but it happens. Okay, moving on to our next thing. Our beautiful overlord, Gabby Hanna. I've watched a couple videos, and it's interesting, that's for sure, the stuff that's going on there. Kind of confused, not gonna lie. This whole situation with her is confusing me. I don't know if something's wrong with her. I'm not gonna speculate. It's none of my business. She's just having a rough go of it. She's been kicked off of Twitter. Not Twitter, it's TikTok. She has been, I guess, stopped from live streaming. I'm not sure if she's been locked out of her account or anything like that, but I know she's in trouble with that. It's just so weird. It's so weird that because you couldn't act right, I guess she violated some community guidelines and she got kicked off. God knows what she did, what else she did. Moving on again, we are talking about, who else did I say I wanted to talk about? Ryland Adams. Oh yeah. Apparently their last episode, I think they're called The Spell. I do not watch their podcast. I think I tried to when it first came out, and to me, they just don't have that energy and there's a clear hierarchy in there where I think her name is Liz gets talked down a lot in my eyes by Ryland, and I just don't like how Ryland keeps talking about himself. I find it so annoying. I find it very fake. It's just not my thing. I think it's kind of I just think it's annoying. It's not my thing, and that's fine. Everyone has like a thing they like or don't like, but I personally just don't like how Rylan goes with his podcast. I don't particularly hate it. I just don't like it. And I guess, and there was a point where when they were in the spotlight, I suppose you could say, that people really were not liking Ryland and his podcast, and there was a point where the comments were turned off, and they've made it very known that now they don't look at the comments. Well, here's some good and bad things about that. How I feel about comments, comment wise. Good thing is you're not stressing yourself about it. You're not wondering about it. You're not concerning yourself too much with what's going on overall. However, when you don't look at the comments, you do not see the feedback people are giving you. I.e., right now they hate his podcast because in people's eyes, which I completely agree, people feel, including myself, that he spends things way too much on himself. Liz apparently is doing a movie and she was trying to talk about it, and every time she tried to bring it up, it was almost like she was being shut down. Did I watch the video? No. I don't want to give him the views. I don't really like the way he does things. I don't hate Ryland Adams. I've just never been a fan of his content. And every time I ever saw him in a Shane Dawson video, because once again, prior, I do admit I watch Shane Dawson videos. I have never hit it. Will I watch them now? I think I'll watch his comeback video just because I'm nosy. But do I think I will watch him again on like a daily basis? No. Because I cannot stand behind the things that he did. Because one, it's not my place to accept his apology, and two, his videos to me over the years have become a train wreck. But going back to Ryland Adams, I just don't, every time I saw him in one of Shane Dawson's videos, I was never impressed by him. It felt like he was pushing himself to be in the content when he really had no place in it. Now, is that a bit harsh? Probably. Some people, he's always been like more of a, like, it kind of reminds me of like a newscaster type thing, like traditional media. Like if he was in traditional media, like on a movie set and like just did like little comments or like an extra, or if he was like a news person who was like, today's weather is going to be, cloudy or sunny, I think he would be great. However, how he is right now, he just doesn't have that energy to me for YouTube. And sometimes I feel bad saying that because I'm like, who am I to say like who has energy for YouTube? Because I don't feel like I have that energy either, but I do this more for fun rather than a career per se or as like a job. To me, Ryland Adams has made YouTube a career. And I guess over the years, because I remember he was part of that one thing, he just has not given me that energy that most YouTubers have. Like, as much as like they go like, like they're not as fun or whatever as they once were, they still had a really good energy about them. Like, even if they were losing YouTube, like love for YouTube and stuff like that, like they still had that semblance of that energy that made me want to tune in. And now I don't get that from him. I've never gotten that from him. I don't know why. I've just never gotten that. I'm a die-hard YouTube stan. I'm gonna make it big in YouTube, stuff like that. Like, I have just never gotten that energy from him. And maybe that is horrible for me to say, but I just don't think. And then his co-host Liz, to me, and this is gonna sound horrible, does not have the presence needed to counteract with Ryland. Because as much as I don't think Ryland has a personality per se for YouTube, he does have that presence where it's, I'm going to cut you off and push my own agenda. Which, great if you're in a fast-paced sort of podcast and you're trying to like, get everyone, situated. But their podcast to me does not have the semblance it should, like the ideology it should, like the stuff behind it. They don't to me. I don't know what it is about it, but they don't. And it's not meant to be mean, but I just don't think they have that energy or the chemistry. When you have a podcast that, you're basically sitting there with a mic in front of your face and you're trying to share information in a quick, fast-paced area, you're trying to, this is the reason you need to look at me versus so and so. You don't have that. And that's not me, just that I'm trying to be like not so nitpicky, because like I know some people can't help it, it happens from time to time where people just don't have that like energy that they do. Because sometimes you have off days. You don't want to be like every podcast is going to be great. But when I watch Ryland Adams' videos, his podcasts, I don't have that, I don't see that energy. I don't see it. He looks bored. He looks like he could care less that he's there, and maybe I'm being, like I said, nitpicky or whatever, but I just find it to be boring. I find his videos particularly to be boring, because how can I, as a viewer, be excited to watch something when I can clearly tell you're not interested either? If it doesn't pertain to you, you could care less. You get what I'm saying? I don't hate Ryland Adams. Once again, like I said, I get it. Everyone has like their thing. However, he doesn't have that energy, and I don't know how to explain it, but he just doesn't have that presence that I feel like, compared to the Frenemy podcast. And I know that it sounds horrible because I know they have like their beef or whatever. But compared to the Frenemies podcast, Ethan and Trish as co-hosts have this dynamic where Trisha goes off the wall and she's like the loud one. She brings up different topics sometimes, or like, she just goes off the wall. She's like the loose cannon of the group. And then Ethan is the one who's like, okay, we have like this itinerary. I know you're excited, Trisha. I know you want to talk. I know you want to like share the love or whatever. But like, we need to get this stuff done, okay? You can keep talking. You can keep talking, but just keep it in mind. We gotta go. And if he goes, Trisha, cut it. 9 times out of 10, if it's not relating to Trisha personally, she'll drop it. She won't talk about it. That's what makes their dynamic work, versus, him, Ryland, and his co-host. Because in reality, Ryland and his co-host don't have that, I guess, that semblance for each other where they can understand, hey, we need to wrap this up. We need to, express ourselves in a better way, versus, they're I guess, rivals on the Frenemies podcast, I guess. But I think that's interesting to note. And I think it's important to note that, because they do have both of those podcasts have a very distinct semblance, I guess, or like purpose. And they each hold their own in some way. However, I want to note that Trisha's podcast, the one, where everyone's like, love her or hate her, she is a great co-host. Trisha is a great, fabulous co-host. And she makes it fun. Ethan kind of is just there. Ethan, when he as co-host, Trisha is the fun one, and Ethan is kind of the stick in the mud. That sounds so mean. I'm sorry. It sounds horrible. But they fit. Liz and Ryland, they have sort of the same personality traits, with Ryland being more dominating in that he will cut Liz off because it doesn't pertain to him. I don't think that's fair. No, it's not. But, it happens. Now, I guess I should be honest here. because, you know, you should be honest when you're doing this. When it comes to podcasts in general, I have always been very iffy because podcasts can either be really freaking great or they could be total trash. Because like I said before, if you don't have like a dynamic or good one at least, it's absolute chaos. And I think that can be shown in Ryland's past podcasts, because even though in theory they have great content, in theory you would assume they'd have great content, in reality they don't, because guess what? They don't get along. They're you do not When you have two people who are running this show, I guess, and they're just sitting there in front of a mic and they're talking, and no one, no one's really paying much attention, no one really cares much, and then you just see obviously they don't care. When you see that they don't care, and then to have them say, oh, we don't, look at our comments because, I don't have to, I guess. Great for mental health, horrible in reality. Because you need people to look at your stuff. I'm sorry. I don't know what this like dynamic he has in his head where he can't look at comments. Maybe that's the part that pisses me off, because you need that feedback. You need that feedback, and then to know on Deaf Noodle, I think it's Deaf Noodles, he has like a whole like thread where people are just complaining because they feel like Deaf Noodles is the one where they can complain to him. Maybe there's a chance like someone will listen to him. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I just find it ridiculous. I don't think that if you cannot handle looking at comments, even small ones, I get it. Sometimes it can be hard to get feedback. It can be hard, having someone critique or okay, this is like a really small example, and this is like a really stupid one, but it's like the only thing I can think about. Okay. On my YouTube channel, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 videos. I have 5 videos posted. On my first video ever, I have 16 views. It says on my thing. I don't think I have that many. I think I clicked on my video a couple times because I get excited. That was my first one. And I have 3 likes and 1 dislike. Originally, when I first saw it, and the first, like, not comment, but like feedback I got was through comments. Not, oh my god, was through likes and dislikes, not comments. No one has commented on my videos. Okay, through likes and dislikes. So the only feedback I got is likes and dislikes. My first, like, someone actually, like, it wasn't my second account, whatever, was someone put a dislike. I had 1 like that I did myself, and I think 1 other person did a like, and then the first, like, actual, like, was a dislike. Anyway. And it is disheartening to know that you didn't like my video, but I will get over it. Obviously, I've uploaded 4 more videos after that. I think I'll survive. I don't think it's the end of my world. However, knowing that's the feedback I got, well, then I think, okay, what do I need to correct myself on? Was I talking too much? Was I saying and or too much, And then you have to look back and go, okay, this is what I did wrong. I need to do that again. Because I know, because I do not edit these videos, that you are getting me real time because I don't edit them. Because I feel like when you edit sometimes, it ruins the whole video. You cut things out. You're not getting your first ever reaction, your first ever opinion. And I just don't feel like it keeps the authenticity of a video. And yes, it can be annoying as a listener, having to listen to me ramble, listen to me get off topic, listen to me, give my little spiels. But realistically, you could skip around in the video or just click off. It's not necessary. You don't have to watch my full video. However, that is me when you do likes and dislikes, just taking into account that you either liked or just hated the whole video, or that could just be the whole content or the whole premise. However, with comments, YouTube comments specifically, because he posts his podcast to YouTube where the majority of his audience is. I don't know where Ryland Adams thinks he's like a star, but 9 times out of 10, YouTubers, your audience is on YouTube. I don't know. I get it. You're trying to branch out or whatever, and I have no problem with that. But if you are a YouTuber and you classify yourself as a YouTuber, your main audience is on YouTube. It's not on TikTok. It's not on Twitter. It's not on anything else. It is strictly YouTube. That is where your majority audience is. And if you cannot just glance, just pick some of the most upvoted comments and pick out which ones are hate comments and go, okay, well, this person literally said, okay, you keep talking over, in Ryland Adams' case, you keep cutting off Liz and you keep making it about you. Okay, so I know I keep cutting Liz off and I am not making it about her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, from now on, if I cut Liz off, Liz is going to go, hey, stop. It's my turn to talk. Okay, great, whatever. Sometimes you can't cut, you can't. Some people, you just have to, you can't think like that. And that's fine. I have no problem being the person to tell you to shut the hell up. I enjoy it, actually. But if you cannot do that as a YouTuber and listen to your audience, then you should not be on YouTube. If you cannot read a comment and go, okay, someone said I needed to do this, and get off your high horse and stop complaining, because I get it. A lot of YouTubers complain that it gives them mental health issues, having to look at comments and, having to accept the fact that different things have happened. And I get how it can be disheartening and it can ruin your career. However, I know how damaging it can be to mental health. I'm not shutting that down. I'm not bringing it, telling those people that they're weak or anything like that. What I am trying to say is you have put yourself online. It is inevitable that someone is going to say something either mean, hurtful, or you're just not going to plain like. And the higher the audience you have, the more likely those situations are going to be, happen. And it does happen. I'm sorry to break it to you. It happens. And the more audience you have, the more likely and the more it's going to happen. Now, does that justify people just leaving like you should die comments or, different, just more like graphic ones? No, that does not excuse it. That'll never excuse it. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is it is inevitable that you are going to receive hate comments. And at the level where Ryland Adams has an audience, he should know, or at least have that barrier to where he's well aware, okay, just because they said that doesn't mean I have to, listen. I can take that with a grain of salt and move on. If it hurts you that much at the stage you're on in social media, maybe you should not be a YouTuber. Maybe you should not be online. I might be being hurtful. I might be, exaggerating. Maybe I'm just being a little too harsh on people, whatever. But at the stage where he's at, if you cannot handle comments, and especially comments like this last podcast that he had, because those are important, that's feedback. That's how your viewers saw you. And if they're not interested, what's the point? It would be different if they were enjoying it. However, from the small clips I saw, they did not enjoy that podcast that they did. They did not. Actually, they looked like they were not even a little tad bit interested in the topics they were talking about unless they revolved around themselves. And I felt kind of bad for Liz because to this day, I still don't know what movie she's in, because guess what? Every time it was brought up, she was cut off. Whatever. But I'm gonna end that one. We're done talking about this one. There's only so many times I can talk about Ryland Adams, especially with the whole situation around that. We're gonna let it go. And I'm gonna move on to my last topic, and that is James Charles. I did do a video previously on him, talking about my feelings on him, and I brought up about a lawsuit that he was involved with, I think her name is Katie. I hope that's right. I don't know why the name's Katie stuck in my head. If it's not Katie, please let me know, and I will do my best to correct that. Anyway, I think her name. Anyway, I'm gonna assume her name is Katie. Anyway, I believe she was hired on as a editor, and she was promoted to producer. And she was hit on the head with I believe it was one of those stage lights for filming, and it caused her to have some form of an injury. I believe it was a head trauma or like a blow to the head. Either way, it resulted in her being hospitalized for a little bit, and sadly not being able to edit videos at the pace that she originally was doing. I suppose I guess from my understanding. And basically what happened was shortly after she came back, because she could not keep up due to her injury, I'm assuming it was her injury, she was unable to, I suppose, edit at her normal pace. She was fired, from my understanding. And then I do believe there was something about lost wages. Perhaps there was misunderstandings around pay. I cannot remember off the top of my head how much he said she was paid. I know it was a livable wage though. However, I'm pretty sure. However, I'm not sure the whole technicalities around the contract situation and things like that. However, I do know they've been in the lawsuit for the past 2 years. Now, I have two problems with the way James Charles has handled this since it's coming out that he's in this lawsuit. One, he posted about the lawsuit, his response video, I suppose. Her name is Kelly. It was Kelly, not Katie. I am so sorry, Kelly. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. I had to look that up because I was like, it is not Katie. Her name is Kelly. I apologize. I feel so stupid. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why Katie was stuck in my head. Kelly. Kelly was injured while on the job. She went to the hospital for a little bit. She came back, and from my understanding was not able to keep up with the amount of editing needing to be done due to her head. I'm assuming that's what it was from my understanding. Anyway, I have two problems. One, he posted his response video. It was a 7-minute long video, I believe, basically with him discussing why, what's happening with the lawsuit, what's it about, things like that, things of that nature. Two problems with this. One, he posted it on Twitter, and I understand he was like, this isn't my return to YouTube or whatever. However, you have a smaller audience on Twitter, and most of your following is on YouTube. That's my first problem. Second problem, he started complaining about how, even since this has been for 2 years, she's doing this because it's like a smear already on his name. She's just trying to, like amp up, anger towards him. I both understand and dislike how he said this. I dislike it because it felt like he was, trying to debunk her. I suppose that's a nice way of saying it. Or like talk down, I suppose would be a better way of describing it. The allegations. I get it. It's been 2 years. You are upset because she is taking action against you still. She did it in a time where you were at your low. However, I can understand why she did it from a business standpoint, because why would she smear you or like bring up, admit, hey, I'm in this like thing with this popular YouTuber when you were at your best? So it's understandable. And especially because it was like a one-time comment from what I understood of her going like, she won one and now she's going 2 for 2. That's not the exact wording. That's just me like summing it up basically. Nothing wrong with it. People do stupid shit. I don't think she should have put that out there, honestly, from a business standpoint, simply because you can use that in a court of law, and it could be seen as passive aggressive, though that's not my place. If you felt it was appropriate, it's appropriate for you. None of my business once again. However, going back to the James Charles thing, I do not like how he handled this. And it's mainly because he put it on Twitter in a 7-minute long video because he took the time to sit down, record himself, and upload it. However, he chose to upload it to Twitter and rather than his YouTube channel, because guess what? He has less of a following on Twitter than he has on YouTube. And all this is because most of the drama is on Twitter. However, videos have been made on it on YouTube. So his YouTube audience is aware of what's going on. However, it's mostly revolving around Twitter. I'm so sorry if that was really fast. However, why would you upload a video when you are a YouTuber, regardless if it's your coming back video? Because guess what? You still took the time to preface this is not my coming back video. This is me just addressing the issue, and then I'm leaving you on the internet again. That's fine. However, upload it to your YouTube channel. How many times do I have to say that? Stop taking it to Twitter. If you're a YouTuber, address it on YouTube, where the majority of your following is. It's not hard. I don't get this like logic where it's like, I'm gonna upload it to Twitter and it's all gonna be like, okay, shiny rainbows. No, upload it to your effing YouTube channel, please. Monetize it. If it hurts you so much, monetize it. Is he monetized? I don't even know. I don't understand this whole thing. I do not. And I don't think I ever will. Because YouTubers confuse me. The things they do boggle my mind on a daily basis. Why they take everything to Twitter when it would make more sense to keep it on their YouTube channel, I do not understand. Because guess what? Those apologies you do, you could do a 1 and just call it a day. I swear they do it on purpose, just to annoy me, 1, and 2, to just drag stuff out. I do not understand. I just don't. It's mind-numbing. Anyway, this video was 32 minutes long. It had no business being 32 minutes long, but I want to do like a couple before. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I'm probably going to call it like something like Ryland Adams and James Charles are getting on my nerves. They are, but you know, I'm trying to make them sound non-controversial to the best of my ability, but it's just not working. Anyway, comment down below, subscribe, like or dislike, up to you, whatever you want to do. And I suppose I'll see you in my next one. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, that's for sure. I do love The Sims, and I do love different video games, so I think I might be doing some, like, my opinion videos on my favorite video games. Just to, like, keep it interesting, because I'm sick and tired of talking about YouTubers, though I'm more than willing to keep talking about them, because apparently they can't just, like, mind their own business. Anyway, everything I said before, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!